This video is to help students decide which ology is more suited to them. We have criminology, psychology and sociology here at HNC. Each of us are going to give you a couple of minutes just to tell you all about our subject and what makes it unique and what types of combinations could work really well for you. Hi, so I'm Danielle and I'm a psychology teacher here at HNC, and I want to tell you just a little bit about psychology, which makes our subject a little bit more unique. So psychology is the scientific study of human behaviour, and as a result we look at why we do the things that we do from a individual perspective, and it's all backed up with scientific evidence. So psychology is an A-level, which means it's assessed by 3 exams at the end of the second year. Some of the topics we cover in psychology include attachment, social influence, we study the brain, and we study aggression. And so we look at everything from the perspective of the individual, and everything is supported by scientific evidence. It is noted that we do look at research methods throughout the 2 years where we will be analysing data using statistical analysis, and it is 10% math based in terms of your exam questions. In terms of our perspective on crime, which is our shared topic today, we would look at the individual and how that individual has been driven to crime, or whether or not something is in that individual that's made them more likely to turn to crime. So for example, I might look at the individual's brain. So how was their brain different to, say, a non-criminal? I might consider factors like their upbringing. What was it that caused their brain to develop in that way? Was there any attachment issues early doors? Did they have any role models that changed their perspective on criminal behaviour? All of these reasons explain why that individual committed those crimes. Although we do consider environmental factors like sociology, we spend a lot more of our time looking at that individual perspective, and therefore each person is unique in that respect. Other things include personality. Certain personalities are much more prone to crime. We don't teach this as a topic on the A-level specification, but we do look at aggression, which is very similar. So if we look at where psychology can take you, there are a few classic psychology careers: educational psychology, occupational psychologist, clinical psychologist and forensic psychologists. All of those would require obviously a degree in psychology and possibly some further qualifications like postgrad, masters, possible doctorates. But those are really exciting careers. You can also work in therapy, in counselling, CBT practitioners, behavioural therapists, all of which work with people from prison, work with people with mental health issues, people in education. But it can also go nicely with as a teacher or in the police. So the careers that stem from psychology are quite widespread.
Hi, my name's Emily and I teach sociology here at HNC. Today I'm just going to give you a little overview of what sociology is and how it's unique, but also has similarities to criminology and psychology. So sociology is the study of society, so we look at factors around the individual in the world around them rather than the individual themselves like psychology does. And it is an A-level like psychology, and there's 3 exams at the end of year 13. So there are some similarities there. In terms of what makes us unique, the topics that you will study are on the screen here. You can see that we do have a crime unit which has a lot of similarities with criminology. So students who do criminology alongside sociology are often really excited when we start this topic because they've already done some of it in their criminology studies. In terms of how we study crime, you can see here there's a big focus on theory. As sociologists, one of our fundamental topics is theory, so we combine theory with crime as well. We look at patterns of crime, crime in the media, human rights, state crime, green crime and globalisation, so there's a bit of a political element there as well. And then finally, how we might prevent crime and punish those who do commit crime. Okay. So some questions that we ask in terms of crime, just to give you a bit of a flavour into what crime looks like in sociology. Some theories would argue that crime actually performs a positive function, such as bringing people together who haven't committed the crime. It brings them together to condemn the criminal. We pick apart statistics and we say, well, does somebody being working class, minority ethnic group and being male, does that make them more criminal? Are the statistics right? What is the best way to tackle crime? Do male police officers let female criminals off more easily? That often gets a big debate going. Should we trust the state's definition of crime? What is the impact of corporate crime, which often is not shown as much in the statistics? And does the media lead its users to be more criminal? And finally, is the legal definition of green and state crime sufficient? So that's just some of the questions that we will ask. Okay, so in terms of careers that sociology can lead into, there's lots of different careers that it can lead into. The skills that it gives you allows you to go on to lots of different jobs, especially those that you will be working with people. So social research, youth work, teaching, as you can see, any career that allows you to work with others and have those teamwork, organisation, communication skills, all of that is really relevant to sociology. Social work, really popular. So as you can see, there's lots of similarities with criminology and psychology, and hopefully some really interesting and exciting options that you would be interested in doing.
Hi, my name's Georgia. I teach criminology here at HNC. So I'm just here to show you a little bit about what makes criminology different from the other ologies. So straight away, I can tell you that criminology is the study of crime and criminal behaviour. So what makes us slightly different is the fact that we are not labelled as an A-level in the same way that sociology and psychology are. We are labelled a level 3 applied certificate and diploma, and I've put up there the exam board just in case you want to have a nosy. So what makes us different is we actually study in 2-year blocks. So by the end of year 12 you will have 50% of your A-level equivalent boxed off and done, and then that becomes an applied certificate, and then you do the same thing again in year 13 and that becomes your diploma. So the way that we are assessed is different to a traditional A-level because we do something called a controlled assessment and then we do paper exams at the end of the year. So this is slightly different. It's not coursework and it's not a paper exam in the same way that you would sit your GCSEs, but that's just something that makes us a little bit different. So we cover 4 units over 2 years. We cover unit 1 and 2 in year 12, 3 and 4 in year 13. And you'll cover the basics such as defining crime, different types of crime, your typical offender, your typical victim of crime. And then we look at crime in different circumstances. So how your age impacts what a crime is, how where you are impacts what a crime is, and obviously things like self-defense. Then you'll move on to more complex topics such as theories of criminality, which is a student favourite. We look at then things like psychological reasoning for crime, sociological reasoning for crime. So there are a lot of links there to the other ologies, and that will benefit you if you choose to do more than one ology at your time here at HNC. And you'll cover things like lawmaking, how our UK legal system works, and that element of it links to law, which is not an ology, but again, it's another subject that just goes hand in hand with a lot of the ologies. And then just a handy hint from me, obviously, if criminology is something that you are interested in, major thing that I would say is important for your studies is being prepared and organised. Because of the controlled assessment taking place in December, January, it's really important that you start the course off with a really, really strong level of organisation so that you can do really, really well in your controlled assessment. Criminology offers lots of different paths for careers, some of them link into those that were mentioned in psychology and sociology, but things like police officer, probation officer, working with criminals, working in education. Obviously you could do things like civil service, so working for the government in any way. Detective, law-based job roles, but if you are going to go down the route of law, then you are more likely to do better at that if you've got a law subject as well. And then any skills that you gain from this qualification are really, really beneficial, and they could get you and open up a lot of doors for a lot of different jobs. So this is just a summary of how all the ologies are assessed and how they are slightly different. So hopefully this video has helped you to choose which ology would be best for you. Just a reminder that you can pick 1, 2 or all 3 of them, and they do work hand in hand. They also work hand in hand with other subjects as well, so you can bear that in mind. Thank you for watching.